This next story is about one of those places you probably know of, but maybe not too much about. It sits at a busy corner in a busy section of town, and Ruth Ezell has the inside story.
Inside the majestic sanctuary of Third Baptist Church in Grand Center, you can sense the presence of the previous generations of members who've worshiped here. The history of the church dates back more than a century and a half. For senior pastor Warren Hoffman, who moved to St. Louis in 2005, discovering that history has been a revelation.
Third Baptist Church is known in certain Baptist worlds, because there are several, as a historic and important congregation. At one point, they were the largest Protestant congregation in the state of Missouri.
The happiness of helping needs no Rockefeller's pile.
That's Third Baptist member Betty James. She's belonged to this church since the 8th grade, when her family lived on the 4200 block of Lindell.
This is a picture of some wonderful ladies.
Oh my goodness.
In their gorgeous dresses in front of the church as it used to be.
1914.
1914. And there's a gentleman here.
These days, James lives in Chesterfield, but still comes in for Sunday services. She's maintained the church's archives since 1985.
I love this gentleman.
Who is he?
He is
William Carey Teasdale.
And he was very active in the early church. And I love
a church that was organized in 1850 with help from Second Baptist Church pastor J.B. Jeter and several members of his congregation. Its first service was held in a rented second-floor room of a building at 13th and Market Streets. Third Baptist moved twice before finally settling on the corner of North Grand Boulevard and Washington Avenue in 1885. Since its humble beginnings, Third Baptist Church has supported the work of missions. In fact, records show that in 1851, despite financial struggles in its first year, the church managed to donate $30.98 to missions. Third Baptist also became known as a church in which people of divergent views could work together for the common good. Reverend James Schofield, who was pastor during the Civil War, exemplified this commitment to unity. Even though his brother was the Union commander of Missouri, Schofield refused to take sides and maintained that no issue should divide the church. Under his leadership, with a congregation that included both Northern and Southern sympathizers, a building campaign led to the construction of a new church at the corner of 14th and Clark Streets in 1866. The move to Grand Boulevard happened 19 years later.
And this is the way it was before the fire in 1928.
That fire in the current church started in the organ. The damage was serious enough that the membership had to temporarily move services to the neighboring Missouri Theater. The congregation grew steadily over the years. Then, in January of 1931, the church's 14th senior pastor arrived and served during what's considered the heyday of Third Baptist. C. Oscar Johnson enjoyed a worldwide reputation as an exceptional orator, a champion of temperance, and a superb administrator. By the time of his retirement after 27 years of service, Dr. Johnson's flock of regular churchgoers grew from 2,500 to 6,000 members.
He baptized me, he baptized my husband, my children, and my mother.
Betty James says Dr. Johnson drew so many faithful, Sunday services were overflowing.
We used to have every room, every auditorium room, 2 downstairs, the sanctuary, and they were standing outside with loudspeakers delivering his sermon.
The bell ringer on the right is Elizabeth Pillsbury Hoffman. She grew up a third-generation member of Third Baptist, as did her sisters Evelyn Kurtz, Cynthia Dickinson, and Linda Roos. They recalled as girls looking forward to major church celebrations like Easter Sunday.
Everybody wore new dresses, so it was kind of, fun to see what people Yeah, it was fun to see what people wore, and all kinds of visitors. And
on a more serious note,
family
the
members
sisters
that
witnessed a steep decline in church membership as much of the St. Louis area population shifted west.
During the late 50s and 60s, people were fleeing this area, businesses, everything. And our church voted to stay here and stick it out.
That vote to remain in St. Louis was in spite of the fact that the church was offered a prime piece of property in West County for free had the membership chosen to relocate. It was a commitment to the city, its residents, and to the church's spiritual, social, educational, and artistic ministries that made the decision a simple one.
The history of Grand Center will tell you that Third Baptist Church was at one period of time pretty much the only thing open. There was no Fox Theater drawing thousands. There was no Powell Hall. There was no Jazz at the Bistro or Sheldon Hall to anchor in safety and in enrichment this community. Third Baptist Church made those kinds of decisions at difficult times.
And we feel like we've been called, I think, to a mission here.
It's a unique church. There's all kinds of people that go here. Rich, poor, you name it. There's, black, white, all kinds of people that come here, and I really like that diversity.
There are currently about 900 people on the membership rolls, and new members are gradually coming in.
I have an 8-year-old son.
Ella Banks and her family started attending in 1991 after one of her sons attended Vacation Bible School and raved about it.
He liked it so much every weekend. Mom, Dad, can we go back? Can we go back? Can we go back? Can we go back? And so my husband brought him back, and he was very impressed with the people, the warmness, the services, the classes. And so the following Sunday, the whole family came, and we liked it, and we've been coming ever since.
I feel like we really serve an important role here and can minister to the local community and have opportunities to serve that you might not have in a different setting. I mean, I love the urban setting, and again, it contributes to just the vitality of the church.
The imposing facade of Third Baptist was a result of an expansion of the church in the early 1950s. You can't miss it traveling on Grand, and its appearance might strike some onlookers as intimidating. But Pastor Hoffman believes once inside, the impression is quite the opposite.
We are not here as a castle and a fortress. We are inviting people in. We enjoy peace here, and that is a tremendous treasure to be cherished, and it helps us move forward into the future that God has for us.